For a challenge, I created the weakest character in Kenshi, destined to get slaughtered by his betters. But by grinding day in, day out for months, Weakman finally achieved what no one believed possible. He was no longer weak, and the only thing standing between him and world domination was a lack of a proper weapon. Alas, finding a renowned weapon, let alone claiming one, is an extremely dangerous process in Kenshi, but it's up to Weakman now to scour the entire continent of old ruins and defeat ancient guardians, all to be able to find a true legendary weapon and become a legend himself. Now, Weakman doesn't quite have a legend status yet, but he's getting very close. It is now day 114, and when we finished the last episode, it was day 81. So you can see a lot of time has passed, and now he is up to 90 strength. Plus, he got up to 80 in heavy weapons and over 80 in melee attack as well. And with his arms, yeah, he's doing pretty good, as you can see. But now it is time to go find some legendary weapons. I'm using a special mod that adds a bunch of new legendary weapons to the game, and we're gonna start by finding the heavy weapon one, which is somewhere over here on the coast. The mod itself doesn't actually tell you where these weapons are, and you have to go out there and find them on your own, but I played with it many times, so I kinda know where they are. The sun is starting to set as Weakman makes it to his first strange vault out there. Now he needs to break in, and then there's gonna be a bunch of guardians he's gonna have to defeat. There they are, just chilling. They don't care. Now let's see how Weakman does against these skeletons. But he does seem to be doing pretty well damage-wise already. Oh my god. Now these skeletons are not that strong because, well, they are not using any armor, and you can imagine that with their stats in 40s, yeah, they're not really close to Weakman in skill. But they do have numbers on their side, and they do have HP on their side because they do have more HP than him. But slowly and surely, they're gonna go down, and they won't be able to protect their precious vault. There's one last remaining. Oh, nope. He's gone. They're gonna be rebooting, and that one is playing dead as well. This should give Weakman plenty of time to loot these places, even repair his limbs quickly, and lockpick all the storage chests. There is already what he was looking for. This is a heavy weapon called Tempest Stampede. You can see it weighs 55 kills, which means you do have to have over 100 strength to actually wield this properly. And damage-wise, yeah, it's definitely better than what he's currently using. So, let's switch up. A proper legendary weapon for a proper legendary man. Let's test it on this guy. 251 damage? Yeah, I will gladly take that. That was 211. There's of course more to loot here, so let's check what we can find. Well, my inventory is full of, well, some crazy stuff now. A lot of these we can just sell to the hivers. We don't really need them. Shame that the gutter's leg we found is a left one, which we already have. We need the right one. But if you were trying to equip a squad with some like really solid weaponry, yeah, a vault like this would be pretty awesome haul. Now let's go sell to the hive. Well, that was over 60k bonus. I like it. Let's move on. My next stop is gonna be at Mongrel. I just want to check if by any chance they have the strength arm that I need, because Weakman still needs an upgrade on his power arm Mark II. It needs to be Mark III and masterwork. I can also hone my blade on some of these unarmed hivers. Come on, Weakman, let's get swing in. 255? Yeah, I think that's gonna do. When he gets a proper swing in, he just kills these guys. Look at that, 318! These guys have 50 HP. So each of these hits is death, unless he chops off their arms, so, or legs. Those guys are lucky. He could single-handedly just delete all the fog yards out here if he wanted to, but of course he doesn't. He wants there to be adversaries in this world. He needs adversaries. But if he can protect the people of Mongrel a little bit, well, that's good. His friends, the shinobi thieves, run the business out here, so that's also good to see these guys alive. But I'm here for the robotics workshop. Because mongrel robotics are usually well stocked. Alas, not stocked well enough. This is a Mark II as well, power arm, unfortunately. Which means we go onwards to glory, far north to the Berserker County. And that's where we can find our next legendary blade. Not that Weakman really needs it right now. I mean, he has no skill in anything else but heavy weapons. But to become truly the strongest man alive, he's gonna need to learn how to use every single weapon, right? And that's a lot of different weapons out there still. He decided that swimming would be the best idea. You know what? I can't fault him. He's actually pretty fast when swimming. Although, like, the color of this ocean here, I would not want to swim in this personally. And swimming would get you miss out on a good fight. And this is what constitutes a good fight out here in this country. A lot of naked, starving men with big cleavers. This would be dangerous to get embroiled in a long fight, because there would be more and more and more of these guys coming. There is always more and more of these guys coming. But it's good to test yourself against different opponents and then chop off their limbs. But of course, as he gets slowly but surely slightly injured, it also saps at his strength and dexterity, so he has to finish this fight fast, or else he's gonna be in danger of not being able to swing that weapon any longer. Luckily for him, these guys are naked, and thusly they go down pretty easily, even if there is a lot of them. And even better, there are other distractions here. Berserkers are coming. There you go. Peace, Weakman, peace. Let these guys fight each other. Oh, no, there's more groups coming. Oh, no. I can probably let him fight here for days, and there'll be new creatures coming in constantly. As you can see, these guys are not strong. Their strength lies in insane numbers. And well, they are also insane. The question is, are they insane enough to be able to defeat Weakman? Do they have numbers high enough to defeat Weakman? I think he has slaughtered quite a lot of them. There's quite a lot of limbs out there. But as you can see, he has also taken quite a few injuries now. And a lot of them are trying just to crawl away. That's a battlefield Weakman cleared. I think it's time we continue on. This was fun. I guess in these lands there is never no peace. These guys are berserkers. They were fighting, well, on Weakman's side earlier, but now they want to fight him. That didn't end well, did it? But look, there is the next vault we've been looking for, and he's gonna break in again. Well, I guess that's not gonna go that easily, because he's been interrupted by more berserkers. And even more berserkers. Oh, but somebody somehow opened this door. I guess the Vault Guardians wanted to go and help. Sorry, Vault Guardians, we can't really have that. I want your legendary weapon and you're gonna give it to me. No matter what it takes. Let's do quick repairs as well. And then let's find the blade. Well, there it is. It's a legendary katana called Enda. As you can see, it's pretty big and pretty awesome looking. And you know what? Maybe it could be Weakman's future weapon at some point. But for now, we loot the rest. Well, this time around, I did get lucky. I got the Masterwork Gutter's leg, and it's the right one. The one we need. And now Weakman's gonna be even faster. Weakman is now running at 54 miles per hour. And with that speed, he's gonna run all the way back home. I'm also gonna sell a bunch of my stuff to the hirers along the way. And I did stop at Mongrel to see if this guy got anything new. He's got new stuff, but nothing that I need. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna stash my katana here at Weak Home. I'm gonna wave to my friend the Bugmaster, and then we go to the Black Desert City. I actually wanted to stop at one of the holy mines along the way. This is one of those where we were previously trying to save people. Now, let's see if we can kill some of these paladins. Let's see how much damage you do to armored people. Oh, yeah, well, that went well. Now, let's see how it goes against a lot of these paladins. Well, I'd say it's going pretty well still. And the slaves might already be trying to escape. And this guy here, he's the High Overseer. He's the leader, and he's already missing his main arm. Slaves, you might as well take over if you want to now. Weakman's gonna try chopping up some of these guys that are still around. And I'm gonna steal their food. Well, there's still a couple of paladins around. I don't think they're gonna last. Oh, you're trying to use turrets against me. None of that. Oh, there's one more. He's got slaves helping him? Dude, how dare you? Yeah, get out of here, slaves. I'm not really gonna try throw these guys into cages and such, but I am gonna kidnap the High Overseer. And I'm pretty sure there should be a couple more in here still. Yeah, let's take care of these. And then we continue on to Black Desert City. And in the meantime, I'm gonna give my buddy High Overseer fresh acid bath. Have fun, buddy. Yeah, I don't think he's doing too good. I also wanted to stop at this ruined ancient workshop that's got a bunch of broken skeletons around. I want to see how our harpoons do, but hopefully Weakmen can survive. Oh, I think they're shooting each other in the back. That's awesome. Excuse me, who is this? Why is there an escaped servant still following Weakman? Oh God, the dude came all the way here? I don't suppose he's gonna survive for too long, but hey, that's his problem now. Weakman is just gonna loot this place and see if he can find something useful. Try not to get shot by more of these guys. That would be unfortunate. And I'm gonna steal everything they've got here, which unfortunately wasn't that much. But it's gonna be enough to make me some extra money here in the Black Desert City, where they still do not have the arm that I need. So I'm gonna check a couple more ruins up here, just in hopes that maybe I can find some. Just like I found that Swift arm in this one. Maybe I can find something good in this one. Alas, unfortunately, just found more stuff to sell. As you grow older, you slowly realize that the power that once fueled your body has somehow disappeared over the last decades. Everything is slightly harder. Going out sounds like the worst chore ever, and hangovers are now a week-long affair. Something has sapped your once strong muscles, and playing football with the boys now means shit's gonna hurt the next morning. Our parents tried to warn us. Our teachers tried to warn us. Everyone tried to warn us. Growing up fucking sucks, but we didn't listen. We wanted so badly to not be kids anymore. Wanted to be big and all grown up, and now suddenly our happy and simple childhood is just an old memory. So keep your inner kid alive, fuel him with what he loved when he was 10, and nurture him, for he is your key to everlasting happiness. Weakman has made it to the United Cities, and while there isn't much happiness to be found here, he at least can sell his wares. Although he has been recognized as a wanted man by these United Heroes League. Well, they are now telling everybody that I'm the bounty they need. You know what? I'm just gonna leave. This is not the time we fight the United Cities. But I promise, Weakman will be back soon. He now made it to the coast, right here on this east side. We do have our next ruin that we're gonna go for out in the water. So, good thing he's a fast swimmer. So this is not gonna take too long. Naturally, there's gonna be the standard guardians he is used to. Oh, they're all hiding upstairs this time around. A more claustrophobic fight than anything else. But they can't. They just can't defeat him. He's Weakman after all, and there is nothing weak about him. So the legendary blade here was the Crimson Storm, which is a saber that deals a whole ton of damage. And I also found a lot of more stuff to just sell. Not that Weakman really needs money, but hey, some money is better than no money. Well, Weakman is being shot by No Face, who's got a bounty with a bunch of people. This guy is very unique, but well, that didn't help him survive. After all, he's got a masterwork old world bow. But again, not enough for him to survive. I'll actually help him, I won't turn him in. He's a cool guy, I like him actually. On the way to the next vault, I'm gonna stop at another United Cities place just to sell my stuff. And then we go onwards to the outlands, which is where another vault awaits us. And also a bunch of reavers. These guys are cool because they have slaves that they allow them to wear weapons. So, if you want to be enslaved by reavers. As long as you kind of obey them, they will keep you safe while you train your weapon skills. Of course, that's not gonna help them if they face Weakman, for he is Weakman Supreme. Looks like there's another group coming, and Weakman is now chopping up slaves as well. Oh no, Weakman, you're supposed to save these guys. Or chop off their arms, that's also an option. Some of these bastards have crossbows and they're constantly shooting him. Oh, that's another group. Wow, who would expect 3 groups at the same time? Not Weakman. But hey, maybe he gives a slave or two a chance to escape. These guys actually have pretty decent stats, and they also don't know when to give up. Now, let's finally get to that vault. Took a while to open, but here we are now, and we're gonna be chopping up some skellies again. With skellies chopped, let's go loot. I didn't pick up extra weapons to sell, because I don't really need money at this point anymore. But I did get Reaper's Gale, a legendary pole arm, and also grab an extra Falling Sun as maybe a backup heavy weapon, because it's edge type 1 and it does quite a lot of damage anyway. Next we go towards Flats Lagoon. Now while there's some fire lasers to avoid here, I think I can make it safely to the next vault, which lies here on the way to Flats Lagoon. As is tradition, we gotta deal with the Skellies, and then we steal their shit. And I stole their Dynasty's Revenge, a legendary hacker. Now we really go to Flats Lagoon. This is literally the coolest city that exists out here, although there's skeleton limbs are not what I would want. So after a quick nap, I'm gonna continue further down south to the Bone Fields, where the final vault awaits us. And with it, the final of the Guardians. And the final legendary, Vigilante's Judgment, a blunt weapon legendary. Now there are a couple extra legendaries we could get, and those are done by completing certain quests that we're not gonna do. And the reason we're not gonna do it is because we're gonna be fighting the factions that we would have to do the quest with. Because now that Weakman has his legendary weapon and all the skills he wanted, it's time he fights the toughest enemies this world has to offer. And he's gonna have to defeat the major factions of this world. Asada the Stone Golem, the leader of the Shack, Holy Lord Phoenix, the leader of the Holy Nation, Emperor Tengu, the leader of the United Cities, and last but not the least, Mad Catlon, the leader of all the Scout Boys. Catlon and Asada are gonna be the toughest, so those we will deal with last. They also have certain heavy weapons that Weakman could definitely use, but I still really want to improve his right arm before we do all of that. So far the skeletons don't really want to sell me that arm. So right now I'm just gonna stop at this old prison, and I'm gonna defeat the leader of this gang here because they also have a really good heavy weapon. The unfortunate part is these guys are all martial artists, so they could actually do some harm against Weakman. The fortunate part though is they're just wearing rags, which means that Weakman can just chop him up. One hit should be a kill. But you can see, comparatively, they actually dealt a bunch of damage to him. There's like a couple of them without arms now, which is funny to me. Because each swing is Weakman taking arms off of somebody. And there is their leader. We gotta defeat that one. That's gonna be our first big victim. Oh, he's just downed. Alright. I forget that Weakman is pretty damn strong. And the Guerrilla Bandits got the Exile Plank, which is a Mei 2 heavy weapon. As you can see, this Exile's Plank comparatively can do almost as much damage as Tempest Stampede. Not quite, but almost. And since Guerrilla's got a pretty nice bounty with the United Cities, I think we're gonna bring him with. Now let's see if these guys got something worth stealing out here. The answer unfortunately was no. So let's go cash this big boy in at Catan. While Weakman and the United Cities are still good friends. For that is not gonna last long. There you go. You can have the big boy. Now Weakman has to go store all this good stuff back home, which is gonna be quite a long road. And I think I'm gonna stop at the Black Desert City again along the way just to check for that arm. They actually have a Mark III this time around, power arm, but it's left and it's only specialist grades. Oh, not exactly what we want. More luck next time, right? Now, let's go store all the good stuff we've got here. And we can take a look at our good old friend Bugmaster, who is not starving to death yet, which is nice. But now it's really time for Weakman to prepare for war. War never changes, except when it does, and it does so consistently. Weakman was adamant he was the change this world needed. He was the one to topple old governments and usher in a bright new era of freedom and prosperity, where each man or woman was free to choose who they wanted to be. They would be free from the social and economic shackles that ruled this world, shackles that brought Weakman almost to the brink. But he was no longer that same lost weakling that almost died at the hub. He grew strong and he grew powerful, and he promised himself he'll never be weak again.
From now on, he'll forever be Strongman.
And so Weakman has now been officially renamed into Strongman. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get used to calling him Strongman. For me, he'll always be weak in heart, especially since he still has a lot of work to do before he really shows him as the strongest man out there. And well, he still needs that extra arm, which means we go back to the Black Desert City. I'm gonna crack open a couple of these ancient vaults along the way, just in case we might be able to find that arm there. We might get lucky. I do know there's like a million of skeleton spiders in here, and we don't necessarily want to fight all of these. No matter how strong he is, he's probably not that strong. But maybe if I fight a couple at a time, that's gonna work well. Yeah, I know there's one more hiding in here, so if you could defeat this one as well, that'd be sweet. Let's go. Now let's get back to looting. Unfortunately, there wasn't really anything worth over here, which means we gotta move to the next ruin. And I know there's gonna be a couple more skeletons to fight out here, so let's fight them before they shoot Weakman. They do have harpoon turrets, but maybe if these guys invested in some armor, that might actually be better for them. But no, that seems too much for these guys, of course. Having some useful loot also seems like too much for these guys. Or I guess at least useful for Weakman. That's fine. We move further north then. There's one last ruin to check here. And these guys didn't even invest in harpoons, let alone armor. So I do not imagine it's gonna go well for them. And it did not. Now let's see how the loot's gonna look like. Well, nothing special. So let's now finally go to the Black Desert City. Let's hope they restocked and they got what I need. They do not have what I need. So at this point, I think I'm gonna go back further north. I'm gonna visit the Armor King again. I could use some upgrades for my shirt and pants because they're only specialist grade. And since there's a narco trap in the way, I think I might visit that place. This place is probably gonna be heavily defended. Yeah, there's a lot of paladins out here. Well, let's see what happens when Weakman comes around. I don't want to get too close because they also have crossbows up there. They actually can range me from here, so that's a bit unfortunate. But if Weakman could chop up these paladins here, then he can, you know, slowly but surely make his way up there. But that just means he has to win this fight pretty damn fast. And these guys are getting constant reinforcements. So he's gonna have to do good. And luckily his armor is preventing most of the damage from the crossbows. They are interrupting some of his attacks though, which can be problematic, but he's doing pretty decently so far. Which can be seen from all the bodies around here. I think outside he has now dealt with most of those that are left standing, which means he now has to make his way up here and deal with the crossbowmen. But there seems to be new crossbowmen that want to take over the crossbows. These guys are not stupid, but they're also not strong as Weakman is strong. Also, now that these guys are broken, let's break in here. And this is the vault I wanted to get in. I know there's gonna be a couple of ancient spiders here, but nothing that Weakman couldn't handle. Now, if Weakman wanted to make money, there is plenty to loot over here. But he isn't here for money. He's gonna take the ancient research stuff, like these AI cores that are worth a ton. As for the rest, well, I guess the Holy Nation can have it if they want to. We're gonna keep on moving north. And so we swim again. We made it back to the Armor King, who has absolutely no upgrades for me, which is kinda annoying. But I guess it is what it is. So next, in my search of ruins that might actually have some useful loot, I'm gonna go check out the Floodlands. For there is another ancient vault here that I can check. And of course we have to defeat the ancient guardians, which there are but a few. And then we can go and plunder again. Alas, unfortunately, again, besides some ancient science books, there wasn't much else here. So next stop is gonna be Obedience. There is yet another vault here. This one has a couple more guardians than the rest. But again, you know, they are fighting Weakman. There's no way they can stand a chance against him, no matter how many he has to fight. This is the first time any of them dealt quite a lot of damage to his arm. So he's gonna soon need some proper repairs here. But that day is not today. Today is the day he once again finds nothing too useful in this place. Which means we gotta leave again. And I'm just gonna do a quick stop at Mongrel. It is really close to obedience and I can rest here and repair. Plus there is always hope that this skeleton is gonna have the arm I need, but he does not. You know what that means? That means back to the Black Desert City we go. One last check before I give up on that arm. I mean, I'll probably never gonna give up on that arm, but still. One day I'll get it, and one day Weakman's gonna have it. Let's hope that that day is today. Spoiler alert, that day was not today, but this guy really teases me. He has 3 Power Arm Mark 3's Masterwork left ones. I need a right one. He's got 3 Masterwork left ones. He actually does have 2 that are specialist, and they are technically better than my Power Arm Mark 2. So I guess I will buy this one for now. And I'll even grab the left one, just why not? But that does give me 3% more strength at least, so there is that. And if I were to use this one as well, you can see our strength would cross 200, but then our dex is low, so I prefer combining both of these. But this gives me hope that there at some point might be that Mark III that I need, which means I will return. Weakman is no more, and a strong man is here in his place now. But being the strongest paints a target on your back no matter where you go, and there will be many who will want to claim that title for themselves. Strongman now steps on a path that could lead to his death and damnation, but it's a path he has to trot to show the whole world he has the right to call himself Strongman. The right he was not born into like some of the leaders of this world, but a right he worked hard for and won it through blood, sweat and tears. The right that will lead him to world domination.